into open session and my iPad froze on me. So I can't tell you what's next on the agenda.
I
Sorry.
can take care of that for you.
Oh, here, it's moving. Okay. All right, so discussion we're gonna skip the public hearing because we have to start that right at 5 o'clock. So hopefully we'll be able to get everything done. 5 o'clock, we're gonna open the public hearing and continue it because they're not ready yet. So we could be out of here sooner rather than later. So we'll go to item number 3, request from Highway Surveyor RE Snow Plowing, the 2020-21 snow season. He is asking that 2 people be brought back to work. I don't know if you guys had a chance to read it.
Yep, I saw that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does
They're
anybody
both
have?
good.
Okay. So I'll entertain a motion to have Mark Audette and Mr. Walsh work at be appointed as seasonal employees.
Motion granted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Selectman Matthews,
Yes.
Selectman Grunwald,
Yes.
and Selectman Pacheco.
Yes. All right. The second item, it says David asked that this item be skipped because there's no update on the highway roofing. Do you have anything, David?
We did talk today. Andy, Jeff, and I. Andy and Jeff are meeting out there tomorrow to talk about the project, and hopefully we'll have a better and a clearer picture as to where we're going.
I'm surprised because I and George, either one of us asked to be at those meetings and I never was at one. George, were you?
No, I wasn't. And I would like to know a little bit more about this, because if when we say we need a roof, do we need to reshingle the roof? Do we need to replace a whole roof? What is it exactly?
Well, there's a disagreement.
And,
I did invite you, Lisa, to the meeting this morning. You should have gotten an invite through Zoom. The discussion is focusing on a couple different things. One is if it's a rolled roof versus like it's called
what is it?
a rolled roof, a membrane roof versus
Like a rubber roof?
A rubber roof, yeah. Versus asphalt. Whether there is enough money to do the project. In number 3, there is a disagreement between Andy and Jeff about whether or not the bays are heated and whether or not that requires insulation. So those are the issues.
Well, you know, I always worry about these projects that they just grow and grow on their own. And it seems to me that for that type of a building, a simple re-roofing, to me, meaning shingling, should be sufficient.
The pitch
Why
is
we
not
want to
right
go
for,
to a,
the pitch is not right for now.
what is it?
The pitch of the roof is not
The
right.
pitch?
Yeah,
What is it now, David?
it's asphalt, but and that's one of the reasons why I believe that it's leaking.
Asphalt,
Shingles.
like in asphalt shingles?
Yeah.
And those shingles have probably been there for years. So, I mean, I don't know, I'd have to see it. This doesn't make any sense to me.
All
David.
right, then, I'll make sure that Andy contacts you and you can talk to him directly. How's that?
Yeah, that would be good.
Well, I didn't get an invite, but neither here nor there, because I just checked my email again. So neither here nor
Yeah.
there. B, we have a building inspector, and I'm thrilled that Andy is helping us out, believe me. But we have a building inspector, and when a building inspector says this is what we need, we probably should listen to what the building inspector is saying. So I, for one, would like to be at one of those meetings, and if not me, then certainly George, because again, I don't know how this project has grown so immensely. So I know you don't have anything else to say on it, and that's great.
I don't understand what you mean by grown. The project is $50,000. It hasn't changed since we originally submitted that as part of the capital facilities budget. There's no growth. It's the same amount of money, where the difference is on what type of materials we're going to use, whether the interior bays are heated or not, which is where the insulation question comes in, because adding insulation, I should say, to the project adds on to the cost. And there's a disagreement there between the two parties. I would, in terms of a building inspector and an architect, I would think that the architect would be more knowledgeable about construction in terms of, the pitch of the roof and what it requires to properly seal the roof. I would go probably more with Andy than with Jeff on that issue, but
Well,
that's
Andy
neither
would be
here nor
doing
there,
the, is Andy doing the job?
You haven't awarded it to him. That's what the whole issue came about. We had the $7,500 for him to put the thing out to bid, to spec it out, so everybody's bidding the exact same project. We did get a couple quotations in, but Jeff didn't specify the type of material he wanted that should be used, and certain other things. So we're not. If it's between 10 and 50, we just need to secure 3 sealed bids, or 3, not even sealed, just 3 bids from 3 vendors.
Well, that's great.
In order to do that, you have to have somebody communicate exactly what it is that the project entails. You can't just say, go over and we want a roof for the highway barn. You want to specify a certain manufacturer or equal. You want to specify, if you're going to do a shingle roof, how many year shingles do you want? Do you want a 20-year shingle? Do you want a 30-year shingle? In terms of the pitch of the roof, are we all in agreement with that? Is it heated, not heated? It has become an issue, but it's not because of I think there's just a disagreement between the two, and they're working that out. It's not like that, we're battling over this. There's a disagreement. We're trying to work that out, which is one of the reasons why Jeff and Andy are going to meet tomorrow at the highway barn and talk about the project.
Well, I'd like to be there, or one of us should be there to listen to this discussion, because now we're talking about changing the pitch of the roof. That means
You're not changing the pitch of the roof. Is the pitch of the roof. You're not changing the pitch of the roof.
Oh, that's why I misunderstood you then, David.
No, we're not changing the pitch of the roof. Is one of the factors that is determining whether it should be an asphalt roof or a rubber membrane roof.
Right.
That's the issue.
It has been an asphalt roof for how long?
That I can't tell you.
They're only good for 20 to 30 years, typically. You can get some companies that'll come in and they'll actually warranty them for 50 years, but that's the max.
Well, there's another condition that you want in the spec, which we talked about today. If we're using a rubber roof in terms of a membrane, you want to make sure that the installer, the manufacturer, has a licensing procedure so that the people who are installing that membrane are licensed by the company that's producing the membrane, so that we don't, go a year into it and find out, well, there was no licensing conditions on the membrane. It's a year later, now we got a leak. So those are the kind of things that need to be addressed in a written purchase description in order to properly bid this out.
All right. Well, so what's the plan then? We'll meet with Andy.
They're going to meet tomorrow and discuss it, and we're going to bring it back.
David, who is they? Andy and Jeff?
Jeff, yep.
All right. Do you want to be there, Lisa?
No, you can go.
Oh, thanks. Okay. All right.
Yeah, you might want to check with Jeff too, George, because he does have some samples of what they were going to, he had somebody come in and give a bid on, and it was insulated. So you might want to just ask him that question.
yeah, we talked about the sample today, actually, and the material that Jeff had gotten the bid for doesn't have licensed installers. So that was one of the things that Andy brought up, saying that it should be a material like a Carlisle material, and there's another company that he made mention of, which require their installers to be trained in the installation of those materials. We also want to make sure that they're doing it in accordance with prevailing wage rates. We don't want to find out after the fact that because we didn't state about prevailing wages, that they come back and say, well, you never told us that, and that's the reason we could do it as cheaply as, and then you got a Department of Labor issue. So, you know, the whole idea of having Andy as part of the discussion and having him as part of the process is to make sure that we are getting quotations that are all in line with each other in terms of a written description that specifically addresses all of the issues that need to be addressed. You're not just going out and say, give me a quote. I want asphalt shingles on this roof, put them on. Oh, okay. Then after the fact, find out that we didn't check all the boxes and end up, you know, in a situation where we install something that isn't a permanent solution.
Good luck tomorrow, George.
What is it again?
Good luck tomorrow.
Oh, thanks. David, do you know what time this meeting is?
They were going to talk to each other at some point. I don't have a time. They said after I guess either Jeff or Andy has a meeting at the police station at 1 o'clock. I don't remember. Tim, do you remember who it was that said they had that?
I'm not sure. They throw out so many different times. I wasn't keeping track.
Yeah.
I'll leave a note on Jeff's desk and have him give you a call first thing tomorrow, George.
Great, thanks, Tim.
No problem.
All right, next on the agenda. Approve the minutes.
Oh, can we put that off till the next meeting? Only I just got all those minutes and I haven't had a chance to look at them at all.
Actually, the first set of minutes by the open meeting law needs to be approved now. So you can do the 16th and 23rd, but the second needs to be approved now. We're past the number of meetings, and so we're a 30-day deadline. So.
Okay. All right. Motion to accept the 16th?
Nope,
Just
November
the
2nd.
second.
The second.
Mm-hmm.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, Selectman Matthews,
Yes.
Selectman Grunwald,
Yes.
and Selectman Pacheco.
Yes,
All right, so I'll have the rest on the agenda next week.
thank you. Next,
That's me. I'll entertain a motion to appoint Stacy Moniz as a senior clerk effective January 4th, 2021.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Is that for the,
Should be for the town clerk's office.
Yeah.
clerk? Okay. All right. Yeah, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Selectman Grunwald,
Yes.
Selectman Pacheco,
Yes.
and Selectman Matthews.
Yes.
Trevor,
All right.
any of those people, did you do the interviews?
Yes.
Okay, were any of the ones that you didn't choose, would they be interested in the part-time position across the hall?
Yeah, I think that we were going to reach out to them once we finalize this. And
Okay,
then, so yeah, I think, Tim, do you have any?
Yep. We reached out to anyone who'd noted on the applications that they were interested in a part-time position as well. Asking them if if they wanted us to carry over their application to that position, that it was part-time, let them know all that.
Mhm.
We had a few takers, so that folder has grown a little bit. That posting closes on December 4th, so we'll be able to figure out where we're going to go from there.
Awesome. Great.
all right,
Thank you.
thank you. Is there anything else?
Well, we have the public hearing, but that's noticed for 5 o'clock, so we can't do that one. Can't go early on that one. But for
I can give you an update on, wait a minute, I can give you an update on the vocational education options. So we did get some positive feedback from Bristol Plymouth. They're actually having a meeting tomorrow night, and they will vote on the accepting of Freetown. to BP. So that's good news, because it seems like that's going to move forward. So that's where we're at on that.
Does that mean all of our students will switch?
No, they'll phase out. The ones that are at Old Colony now will stay there, and then we'll just phase in the Freetown students into Bristol Plymouth. If that's how it's gonna go.
Yeah, okay.
That'll start next year, right? It'll be
Yep.
great.
So that's awesome, because there was no guarantee from Old Colony to get our students, our 8th graders in for next year. And there is a guarantee for us for Bristol Plymouth. So, that's good.
Great.
Okay. The next item, can I bring that up again? Council on Aging. I know I'm not going to make anybody happy with this, but having said that, I looked at the original article that was passed at town meeting. And if you read that article, at least my interpretation is that we should have gone ahead with what the article said, but we went quite afar of that. And what I would like to do is get a legal opinion that we could discuss at our next meeting, whether that really is, I guess what I'm trying to say is we need to do what was voted on and not go beyond that or beyond or below it. So the language was pretty clear, but again, from a legal standpoint, I'm not an attorney, so I don't know. So could we at least get an opinion on that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we got to make sure that I know, say we voted on that, but we can't then violate other potential laws by going forward, right, and not going through all the right procedures.
No.
Bids and all that stuff. So
we-
it's
we-
just
Yeah,
make
no,
sure
I
that
get that.
they're looking at both sides of it, is what I'm saying.
Right, yeah, of course.
Would it be helpful if I read that article for you guys?
Yes.
Well,
Part of the-
Well, there we go, Lisa.
go ahead.
Yes,
To see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate and or transfer from available funds the sum of $550,000 for the purpose of design and construction of a renovation and expansion of the Freetown Senior Center building located at 227 Chase Road, including all costs incidental and related thereto, and to further authorize the Board of Selectmen to enter into contracts in excess of 3 years to carry out the purposes of this article and or take any action relative thereto.
So
I
it
am
does.
not trying to take Mike McHugh's job. I
No.
know he's going to text me. I'm not doing that.
So in essence, it does come back to the Board of Selectmen. So it does fall under our purview, but we certainly can send it to Mark and, ask him for his opinion. But especially that last sentence, it says under the direction of the Board of Selectmen.
Yeah.
So, but we'll throw it out there.
okay.
All right. Okay.
Okay. Anything going on with the contract curbside?
We'll be discussing that next meeting. I actually got an RSVP from Chris Macera, so he will be present. He's actually going to be virtual, but he will be at the next meeting. And I believe the cable negotiations, David's going to have that for us next meeting as well. Annual licenses will be at next meeting. And then a couple other things on the agenda there.
Where are we meeting?
I was actually going to ask you that. Is the police station going to be ready for meetings, or is it Council on Aging? Council on Aging?
Yeah.
Council on Aging it is.
Okay.
Outside
Which meeting?
or inside?
We can do it inside. I think I just have to research the exact capacity limits. I want to say it's 25 off the top of my head, but I just need to confirm that.
Okay.
Okay, on the cameras, we did get a quote, and I think it's exorbitant. I wouldn't personally want to see us spend that much money. It's like, I don't remember the number exactly, but it's like $7,000 to $8,000 for the transfer station. and town hall is another 7,000, 8,000 or whatever. The good news is that would be Cadillac of a system. And it would be under the control of the police department. You're all aware of that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, if you feel that that's a reasonable amount, that's fine. But to me, it just seems somewhat exorbitant.
George, what if we put it on for a warrant article for the town meeting? And if the townspeople vote yes, okay, and or we put it under capital improvements.
Okay, I mean, as long as you're comfortable with the number, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
I sort of had sticker shock, to tell you the truth. But, you know, I mean, in the scheme of things, it's really not all that much money, but the thing is, it is the best system that money can buy. So, all right, but if you want to go that route, I'm fine with that. Okay.
all right.
Then town meeting signs. You had suggested last meeting to speak to Andy about getting a price for doing the sign similar to what's at the police station.
I think David had already looked into that and sent it to us. And I think that we said that we would put that on as a warrant article for the next town meeting too. Because they're same thing, they're like $7,000 a piece, right? Do we want to spend that money? Do we upgrade the ones that we have right now? But I know for the town meeting, you just want to get something simple like a plywood, blah, blah, blah out. I'm
Well,
fine with that. For now, like,
okay.
I'm fine with that. It would be nice to upgrade our signs.
Okay, here, I'm going to turn my camera around and see if you can see my other screen so you can see what I'm looking at. Can you see the screen?
Yep.
Do
Kind of.
do you see the signs?
Tilt it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Yep. I see something.
See something, but I can't really see. Can you send us the link tomorrow?
Oh, yeah. I'll
Yeah,
do
if
that.
you email me that link, George, I can forward it out to the board.
Okay,
You
I'll
can
do
get
that.
a sign like that at
Yeah.
Signorama for $500 if that's what you.
Yeah, these here, that's what these run, $300, $400, $500. And, but I'll send you the link and you can look at it but that would be quick, easy, cheap.
Yep.
Okay,
Okay. Yep.
all right.
All right. So we're good.
Yeah, let's see what else we have.
Is it time yet?
Not quite. 4
Okay.
minutes.
Yeah, that's all I had.
Also next week, I'm going to have some sort of, I'm not exactly sure how exactly we're going to approach it yet. We're going to have some sort of emergency declaration for that's alarmist. Sorry. How we're going to how we're going to handle a potential emergency situation with COVID. I don't know if it's going to be, an emergency board meeting or if we're going to delegate, one board member to make a decision, because there is a possibility that, I don't know, maybe just to give an example, I could contract it today, I get a positive test and we have to close town hall in like an immediate type situation. So I think it's best if we, we're prepared for that situation as opposed to trying to figure it out on the fly.
I'm from Abbott, Alicia.
Sorry, guys.
Don't worry.
Yeah, so I'll have something prepared to try to figure out how we'll handle that at the next meeting.
Okay, I sort of missed that because of the phone. What is it exactly?
I'm not exactly sure what form it's going to be, or could even just be a discussion. Basically, there could arise an emergency situation where we need to close town hall immediately because of COVID, or even for like a blizzard or something like that. It's kind of just some sort of plan that, maybe we delegate one board member to make the call, or we delegate to the town administrator, something along those lines. Although, of course, won't have David after next week. So it's just a discussion to figure out exactly what we're going to do if that situation were to arise.
It's more or less common sense, right? Like if there's a blizzard or it snow's coming down pretty heavy, then I think all three of us would be in agreement that town hall needs to close, right? I mean,
right. But we've had situations in the past, as I'm sure you recall, Lisa.
Yeah.
You were on the board at the time.
Okay.
All right, Well, we have another minute. Does someone want to sing a song or something? Or
No, Not
Tell
it.
us about
No one
your
wants to hear
grandson.
that.
not it. Luann, do you wanna? No?
well, I guess I can explain why we have to do what we have to do. We're going to have to open up this public hearing and then immediately continue it till next week. There's been a bit of a delay in getting all the data together. The assessor's consultant that they usually use. So it's not ready for tonight. It's been advertised for tonight, so we're actually just have to continue it to next week. So you guys have to formally pick a date. I would suggest, next week at 5 o'clock at the Council on Aging. We can hammer it out then. And plus, being an in-person meeting, that makes public hearings a lot easier than on Zoom.
Yep.
I also think that we need to be really careful because our numbers come out again on Thursday. If we're in the red for now, the 4th week, we need to reconsider how we're doing things, and possibly how we're going to meet.
Yeah. It's not looking good.
No.
Well, you'll know that on Sunday. So,
Right.
I think that, if you're planning an in-person meeting when you're 4 weeks into as a red community, you really need to rethink that. But
Yeah, I agree, David.
So do we want to axe the in-person hearing or in-person meeting, or do we want to switch to virtual? What are we going to do there?
I know it makes your life harder, right, Tim?
It is what it is.
But I don't know. I'd feel more comfortable with the virtual meeting, to be honest with you. But I could,
At least we know if it's virtual, we're all going to be there, right? What if either one or either two or all three of us feel like there's no way I'm going to that meeting,
Right.
knowing that we're COVID red for 4 weeks. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Then we might not have a quorum, and then we get everybody out for no reason. And I don't know. I think we should probably just do virtual. What do you
Okay.
think?
I mean,
George?
is there any pressing reason to have it in person?
Not really. It was just
That's
something
the
that was
answer for
thrown
me.
out. Yeah. Okay.
I think given the quandary we're in, and given that the state has said, hey, Freetown, you're in the red for the 3rd week and you need to roll back, I think we need to do our part as well and roll back.
All right. Then
Agreed.
you just have to, when you make the continuation of the public hearing, just make sure you say going to be virtual as opposed to in person.
Okay, are we ready?
Yep.
Okay, I will, hold on, I gotta find it now.
Yeah.
There it is. I will entertain a motion to have open the public hearing at 5 o'clock, this being the hour, and continue it to December 7th virtually
Also at 5 p.m.
at 5, yes.
Motion granted.
Do I have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Selectman
Aye.
Matthews,
Yes.
Selectman Grunwald,
Yes.
and Selectman Pacheco.
Yes. I'd like to follow up and just make sure, like, this is the one thing that I've been trying to prevent happening, because one year we went into December and poor Karen Mello was there on Christmas Eve day. I think I remember telling everybody this, getting the tax bills out. Are they going to be ready? I think that we need to know that the tax bills will be ready to go out prior to anybody having to do that again.
The assessors, their other consultant that's helping with this, did say that she didn't foresee any sort of issues about it going out late. So that's the information we have to go by.
Going out, the tax bills going out late?
No, she said she doesn't see it being an issue that they're
Okay, that they will go out late.
right. She thinks they'll
Okay.
be able to go out on time.
Okay. All right, then I guess I'll entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Motion
Motion
granted. Oh, sorry. Every time.
All
Second.
right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye,
Selectman Matthews,
Yes.
Selectman Grunwald,
Yes.
and Selectman Pacheco.
yes.
All right. Thank you all very much.
All right. Bye.
Have a great night.
Night.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
everybody.
Tim, I might call you